Williams, the coordinator of student success here at MCEC, which stands for Muskegon Community Educational Center, the place where your center of your child's education is magnified in a collaborating community. Our focus here at MCEC is community involvement, careers, social emotional learning, and nutrition. What's up, PK? What or who do we have on the show today, fam?
Well, we are both lucky and blessed because we have all of our homies from down the way, from Amity. All our homies from Amity. We have Williams, we have Angela, aka AJ, and we have Irma Lopez. So we've got the whole fam on today. So if there's a bunch of cutting up, Chauncey, I can't be held responsible.
All good. You know what I was thinking about? Like, I know we had our theme song, but I say for the ladies, we had to switch it up because I know Marie been into this grinding all her life, and Angela and Miss Lopez also. So I say the song today for them should be because they got it. They got that gift. They've been in it all their life. I was looking at the questions I was gonna ask you. I was like, they grinding all their life.
Oh, this is our serenade. Oh,
Turn it up. Break you in to MCEC. So I was thinking about a song because we usually go from we buying back the block. That's our theme here at MCEC. But I said, okay, we got they down the street from us, and we want our kids to be homeowners, you know, walking to careers. Then I said, okay. Paul said, I got to go back to the future. I got to go back to my old building, pull my crew from there. And I started thinking about the personalities and the relationships I had with them. I said, oh, these people grinding all their life right here.
Exactly.
Yeah. I said, I don't know nothing else they do. They round the clock hustling.
For our kids. Hustling for our kids.
24/7.
Yep. So I can say that about you three. I'm like, okay, how can we serenade them in the right way? So,
I like that. I like that. Thank you so much, Chauncey.
So Chauncey, you're going to lead us off with some questions of our esteemed guests so they can introduce themselves.
Yep. So starting with that, my job here is career readiness. So it's a book we've been reading, Luck is No Accident, and it breaks down how you get in your careers. So the first question I'm gonna ask you is, list 3 occupations which you aspired to at some time during your childhood. So all 3 of you, whoever want to go first, 3 occupations when you was a kid that you was like, this one, and this one.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So when I was a kid in elementary over at Angel, I had some of the best teachers that probably has ever taught in Muskegon Public Schools. Ms. Bobby McAfee, Ms. Bertha Thompson, God rest their souls. I wanted to be a teacher first because of those 2 ladies. They were the embodiment of a mother outside of your home. There wasn't anything we couldn't do at school that they did not treat us like if we were their own children, positive or negative. Unfortunately, back in the day, you know, we could get that spanking at school and, you know, it was okay. Second, I wanted to be an accountant. When I got a little older and I got to high school and I took the career courses that were offered right there in your building that you guys are in right now with Mr. Les Matthews. He was one of the best business teachers that was around. So I want to be an accountant, you know, based on him. And then thirdly, I wanted to be a nurse because my mom was a nurse's aide growing up and I watched her take care of people, you know, all my life. And unfortunately, none of those 3 things happened. So, and based on your book, like you said, what was it called?
Luck is no accident, and the word is happenstance.
Luck is no accident because, you know, 20 plus years ago, I got a phone call from Muskegon Public Schools that said they needed a aid for a visually impaired student, and I got that phone call after a trying time in my life, and I've been here ever since. So that definitely wasn't luck.
Yeah. So I'm gonna share this with you because what we're in right now in our phase of our program is trying to get kids away from the space of picking careers and be more like what you're doing. Because when you said a nurse, a teacher, and it was one more field, What was it?
Accountant.
Accountant.
Okay. I've seen you run all the sports money. I've seen you count for every little piece of store things, fundraise, everything. 2, I've seen you teach, step in, help mode, right? And then the nursing part, nurturing relationships with everybody and making connections, and always hustling for those kids, almost like a doctor type of nurse. So I've seen that in that capacity. So you did it. It's just not the job title. So that's how I'm able to see the insight. So that's all right. So who's next?
Well, both of my parents were teachers. My mom taught with Muskegon Public Schools and my dad taught in Heights Public Schools. So I never, ever wanted to be a teacher. Never. I saw going to Marquette School with my mom and she telling me 1, 2, 3, sit, and then seeing my dad at Heights Middle School. And that was something I just never wanted to do. I never, ever. But my mom would always say, you're going to be the one in the family to be a teacher. You'll be a teacher. And I was like, no way, Jose. That is not all I want. When I was growing up, I watched a lot of TV. I still do now. So I just wanted to be a movie star. I wanted to go to Paris, dye my hair blonde, get my ears pierced 3 times, and live the life of a movie star. That's all I aspired to do. I had growing up in Heights, a lot of teachers, they were from the South and they were friends with my parents, and I saw them. But I knew in our household that I had to go to college. And my sister was older, and so she was an engineer. So I was like, maybe I want to do that and be a movie star because they make money. So maybe that. But for me, it was no. I didn't think about going into education until I was actually in college. I was at Tennessee State, and we will go down. I was in philosophy. So after changing my major like 5, 6 times, I changed from everything under the sun. But I was in a chemistry class, and I loved chemistry. I loved doing different projects. So I was like, maybe this semester I'll go and I'll be a pharmacist or something. And we would go down to an elementary school that was behind us, and we would go talk to the kids. But they needed substitutes so bad. So they would use us to go in the classrooms and sub. So I would go in the classroom. I said, well, if I was a teacher, I would do this different, or I would do this. And so my mom would say, yes, see, I told you you're going to be a teacher. I was like, no. Don't get it wrong. I'm just helping out. They just have us in here doing this. And then the kids started connecting with us. So when I came home for the summer, I applied at Heights to teach, just to work as an aide in summer school. And they gave me the job to be a teacher. And I was like, no, I just wanted to be the aide. I don't want to be the teacher. But I saw the pay. So I was like, okay, cool, I will. So I really liked it. And then when I went back to school, I was almost done. So I just finished in philosophy and sociology, and then went back and got my teacher certificate. And here I am. All of a sudden, my mom would say, see, you should always listen to your mother, because I knew you were the one who was going to be a teacher. So I always tell the students that it's okay to, look and see things that you like. It's okay to try to figure it out, because I was the child that was trying to figure it out. In college, I was the one still trying to figure it out. I went, like I said, every semester, I was like, oh, I like this. And even though I was in a school that had opportunities and in the home that had opportunities, I never really, growing up, just had that niche of, oh, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Okay, a movie star, because I see them on TV, but having all these other avenues. So like I always tell students, hey, you like doing this? Have you thought about this? Or giving them the opportunities or feeding their head. Well, since you like doing this, have you thought about doing that? Have you thought about this job and this? And seeing a lot of different jobs or opportunities from the things that they like.
All right, so I'm gonna ask this question. Are you the middle child or the baby?
I'm the middle child. That's the best place to be, right in the middle. You have a front and a back, the middle.
So then I know your brother. I went to college with Lou, Sweet Lou.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was an engineer, right?
Yes.
And your older sister engineer.
Yes. And they both went to state.
Yeah.
And so I was the one that I went out. I went to Tennessee State. My parents went to Tennessee State, so I went to Tennessee State, and I'm the one that's the teacher. Yep,
So
they're both the.
Yep. So happenstance still happened to you, even though you was denying it the whole time. It was like, hey.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, I'm not getting ready to check papers, spelling test on Fridays. No. That is not that life. I don't want that.
Look, now you're in administrative role and did some great things with students in our community. So you never know what can happen. It's just the skill sets that we come with. Sometimes they just apply to how we can solve problems in this world. So thank you for sharing that. So Miss Lopez, what you got for us? Three careers.
I am the middle child. Yay! So the three things, I wanted to be a nurse, I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to be a psychologist. So those were my three things growing up. I'm from a family of 5, and I'm from a small village in Mexico, and we came to the United States when I was 10 years old, and we ended up staying. And my parents, what they always said is, you know, we can't help you. We don't have the formal education. So we sacrificed our life and our stability to make sure you guys had those opportunities. So they're like, you're just going to have to make it work. And thank God and family that we all went to college and all. Actually, we're all in education except for one. She's in business administration. So, but yep, that was my family.
Okay.
But was thinking about the three things I wanted to do, they were all in the helping field. So like Angie, I just think looking at something you enjoy and that you have a passion for and having it fit into whatever you choose to do. And like I know both the other angels and Marie, she's the counting part threw me off, even though she's so good with math, because she is a helper. I mean, she supports others. So that accounting thing threw me off a little right now, but yeah.
Well, I'm just going to say this. I think Angela would have been an amazing movie star.
She is a movie star.
But you said you were surprised that Marie was considering being an accountant. You've seen she takes copious notes.
Yes, he does.
And you misspeak on a word or a number, and she said, no. What did you say? Remember back in 1984 when you said the Dukes of Hazzard were going off the air? I remember that. And it was at 7:57 on a Friday night because you said it was coming off the air.
Or how she managed
Great memory, that's for sure.
how she managed the funds with the sports. I mean,
Absolutely.
Man.
I mean, numbers for me, it was really, I had a summer job back in the day at GTE. So that definitely is telling you I'm putting my age out there. So I had a summer job at GTE, and we had to call like 6 to 7 different states that were in our region, and we didn't get the same state each night we went to work. We got a different state. So using those numbers and calling numbers, and we had to report numbers out all the time. Numbers is something that's just like, it's like embedded in my head. Once someone says a number to me or anything like that, it's there. And, you know, working and being at school, people be like, well, what's such and such's phone number? And I'd be like, 231, such. I could just rattle it off the top of my head. And people be like, how do you know that number? I'm like, hey, it just, once I dial it and it's there, it sticks, literally.
There it is. So
I'm gonna throw a question out.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna throw a little question out there. If we turn on social media these days, we hear lots of commentary, lots of people saying this, that, or the other thing about kids, about education, and so forth. And what I've seen from the three of you is you guys walking that gospel out and connecting with kids and trying to do right by kids. What have you found that works well in connecting with youth today besides some of these folks who are just on Facebook complaining about kids? What is it that you do? What is your superpower? Because all three of you got superpowers that helps you connect with kids. So people out there in Facebook land can say, oh, I might try that. So what is it that you do that helps you connect so well with kids?
I think I'm the person, I'm the strict person. I don't accept excuses from students, and they know that. I expect the best from them, and I put that out there first. So they know that if I mess up, I have to go and tell her, because one, I'm gonna find out anyway. So it's best that they tell me themselves before I find out from someone else. And then they're gonna get the tongue lashing, but then they're going to get the, okay, here's what we should do. So they know I'm going to be there in their corner to help them in any way possible to make the situations better. And that still happens to this day, even with all the students that I've had. I mean, we're talking grown-ups that, still contact me some kind of way when they get in trouble. So, like I said, I'm the disciplined person, but they know I love them no matter what. So, they gonna get it, but they're gonna get it over it.
Yeah, I agree with Marie, with that, having that sternness, that keep it real, but also with building the relationships and the caring part. Because when they know that you care, and not just the students, but their families, because a lot of families rely on us too. Go talk to Miss Johnson, because I can't, and just that part of knowing that we care and that we have the relationship to say, no, you're right or you're wrong. That helps with building the students up, and just being able to have a solid relationship where they feel comfortable coming, or their families feel comfortable coming to us about different things.
Okay.
To me, it's really important to listen, listening to their feelings and their thoughts. I just I value giving them voice, but consistency and follow through to me are very important. I mean, they're important to us as adults, and especially with children, and especially during these trying times. Just like Marie said, always being there no matter what. So the consistency, the follow through. If you're going to say you're going to do something, do it, or don't say it if you're not going to follow through. So consistency, follow through, and listening to them. I'm the listener first, and then you're still going to have your consequences, but I'm going to listen to you and hear you out. But there's going to be consequences for our actions, like there are when we're adults.
It's interesting that you say that, Irma, and kind of jumping in what AJ and Marie said too. We had Gemini the poet on last week, and one word that she brought up that she felt was like super important for kids, I would also argue for adults, is being consistent. That's hugely important for people, especially during these times, but in general. Marie, when I say to you the word consistent, what would that look like on a day-to-day basis for you in your work with people's kids?
Pretty much, not changing what I say or do just because of who the student is or who their family is, keeping it the same. I know lots of people, as you would call me, the mayor of Muskegon Public Schools. So, I know tons and tons of students and families. So I'm not going to treat one student differently because I may have known their family longer. They're going to get the same treatment no matter what. They're going to get the same phone call. They're going to get the same, discipline. They're going to get the same conversation. It doesn't matter. And I pride myself on that. And a lot of parents like the fact that I don't treat their students any differently because I know them personally. And that's what I do to stay consistent.
Okay.
She's just not the mayor, she's the mama. Even for, you were talking about being consistent, but just in this role, here at the middle school, because I always give hats off to Paul and Marie for bringing me here, but just knowing that you have someone who you can look to. And when we talk about like with kids, yep, kids and families look up to Marie, but I do too. In the job, something new, you know, I'm always going asking her for help, and she will be there and help out. Yep, she looks at the mayor, but I look at her as she's the mama, you know. And when you have consistency like that, when you know that there's someone that you can depend on, that helps throughout the day. Having that plan with being consistent and following the plan, and knowing that you have people that have your back. And Maria and Irma, they're here. Yep, we know we have that. That helps with keeping everything on the roll and keeping everything consistent.
I gotta do this right quick. What Jemiah Townsend would do. Because Jemiah Townsend, like, oh, this compliments is turning up. You know what I'm talking about, Jemiah, your baby? That's my dog, Jemiah. Yeah. So tell her Mr. Wills is on the Zoom.
Most definitely will have to. So I appreciate Angie's comments. And she, I mean, a lot of people do consider me a mama. I do have, most people will call me Mama Williams or Mama Marie. And I think it was our past superintendent who actually gave me the nickname of Mama Bear, because I went to him during a time when I was working at MCEC when we were over on Apple Street, and I voiced a lot of things to him about what should have been happening in the building for our kids that were at MCEC. And that's basically what he started calling me, was Mama Bear.
Right, fighting for our kids.
So, you know, we've consistency, connecting with kids. If you think back over the course of your life, who was a person that was there, who was consistent, who was like that mama bear, that papa bear, or that role, that person who didn't let you off the hook, that person who kind of kicked you in the seat of the pants to get you to move forward? Talk a little bit about the impact of that person on your life or career, if you're okay with that.
I think more so it was my mom. As the years went by growing up, she was a single mom, you know, it was 5 of us. And
Oops, did Marie's audio drop out for you guys too?
Yeah.
Oop. Hey Marie, mess with your sound. It kind of clicked out.
Gotta do the remix now.
all right, here we go.
All
So I
right.
was saying it was my mom. You know, she was a single mom. The streets were the same. I had a brother that we had to worry about growing up and what was going to happen to him in the streets. And my mom just kept, you know, all of us focused on the same path. You know, she didn't teach us any different. So, you know, unfortunately, when my brother did mess up, it was, well, that's not the way that I raised you. So I continued on to, you know, go ahead, forge forward. I was a single mom, myself, a teenage mom. I was 18 when I had my first child. So I've seen those rigors through life. I was a teen mom. So I understand when we have our students who end up being teen moms, because I was one myself. But my mom continued to just tell me, you know, you got to make sure that you take care of yourself, take care of your kids. You got to work, you got to get a job. And even, you know, right now to this day, you know, she, you know, always has some positive things to tell me. You know, she doesn't live here in the city with me anymore, but I still talk to her, and it's, I can honestly say that she's pretty proud of me right now.
Thank you for sharing that, Marie.
Yeah, I have to say my mom too. I remember my first teaching experience, which was a hotmess.com. And I went in and it was just like, oh my goodness, I want, So that next morning when I got home that day, and my mom was like, how was it? And I just broke down crying. I was like, I'm not going back. No, this, that, nope, I can't handle it. So I woke up that morning And my mom was sitting in the living room with her coat on, like, okay, let's go. This is not, no, let's go. Because you're not getting ready to give up. This is not what you come this far to do. I'm here to help you. So she did. She showed me the ropes. But just from that point, just to like a Rosie Holmes and Marvin Nash and Okila McBride and just so many others, who Paul and Marie, Irma, who just always just keep pushing and just say, hey, just good pushes, nice pushes, just to say, yep, you can do this. You can keep going. You look at yourself. Hey, me and Paul would all have conversations. He would say, hey, you know what? This is you, AJ. You're going to do this. So just having that, like we always say with others, having a village around you to say, yep, this is you. Because sometimes you don't see some of the things in yourself when you look in the mirror. You see, yep, I look good. But you might not see the other points of some other things that others see in you as well. So I like the village. The village.
All right. Irma, what about you?
For me, it was both of my parents, but I think with as getting adulthood, it's been the siblings. And like Angie's saying, it takes a village. I mean, friends. I feel very lucky to be at the middle school with these two angels and just having the support. That we support one another and we have each other's back and we're solid. I mean, so we all need that, whether it's family, whether it's mom and dad. And that's what I tell our kids is you surround by yourself with people that are going to lift you up, not pull you back. So that is something, really, really important. And if, not everybody has both mom and dad. Not all of us have supporting siblings. So, if it's not them, it's friends. You surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up and will give you the gentle, loving push that we sometimes need. And the honesty and somebody you can always talk to. So I remind our kids about that all the time. I think that's very important.
I've got another question, Chauncey, but I've been taken over, so you probably got a question you want to ask. Otherwise, I'll ask mine. So you call it.
No, I was thinking they was segueing us into Tom's portion, the social emotional learning portion, because he does that here with us, with our students, and it's like every the angels have been on that angle every single time that they talked about the social emotional learning. I also say let Tom step in and follow that up with a question because they're right on point right now with him.
Yeah, that tribe idea is so important that, you don't always get to choose some people in your life, but you do get to choose other people in your life. So make good choices and surround yourself with good people. And I know I've been super blessed by working with Marie at MCEC and watching what she does as the mayor of Muskegon Public Schools and all the kids that she reaches out to and families. And, that really has a big impact on opening my mind to what's possible in a school. And I'm super thankful for that and thankful for that tribe. And it's exciting to be able to continue to build that here kind of out in front of everybody, doing the MCEC Family Show and inviting people in and sharing these questions. It's awesome stuff. So thank you so much for sharing.
So I have one question with two parts because Marie knows I always have to do too much. This is the way I am. So here's my one question with two parts. The first part is, what's something uniquely interesting about you? One thing, and I know enough about y'all, so if you don't say anything, I'm going to say it. What's one unique thing about you? Number one, and number two, I almost did the wrong finger. And number two, what's one piece of advice you would give to the MCEC, MMS, MPS fam? What's one piece of advice you would give to them? Because sometimes folks pick up and watch this show later. Sometimes folks just open it up and then close it back down. Some folks put it up on the TV and then throw those suction cup darts at my head. I don't know. But so two things. One thing uniquely interesting about you, and two, a piece of advice for our larger MPS family. Don't all rush to start this one all by yourself. Because I know someone doesn't want me talking about Panera Bread.
I'll start. I think my piece of advice for the entire district, I mean, keeping our kids first. They're our future, and making sure we give them the respect, give them their voice, treat them with kindness, treat them like if they're your child or how you want somebody to treat your child. I think that would be my advice, because I know we get so busy and we all have our thing, going on. So just keeping that at the forefront would be my suggestion or advice. Something unique. I'm a big eater. Marie says I snack all day long, and it's probably true. I love junk food and I eat all the time. I don't know if that's unique, but I can't think of anything else.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Who's next? AJ? Gotta unmute.
Mute. Something about me is, I guess, I'm a sensitive person. I'm sensitive and emotional, so my feelings get involved a lot in different things. So I might have to kind of. That's something about me that is just I'm a sensitive, emotional person. And to MPS family friends, I'll piggyback off of what Irma stated, is just keeping our students and families first, thinking about our families and our students and putting them first when we make decisions as well, and our staff, especially as COVID is all around and everything is changing because of the COVID world, that we have to be mindful of the wellness of our community and of our staff, because just keeping everyone in a good mind space and having outlets for everyone to talk about different things, we have to be mindful of those things.
It's Donahue.
First of all, I'm not going to say anything that's unique about me, because I don't talk about myself.
I do.
Second of all, what would I tell our MCEC, MMS families and all of our families through Muskegon Public Schools and any other school district? People do a lot of talking and complaining, but they don't talk to the right people. You have to talk and reach out to the right people when things are wrong. If you don't talk to any of us, all of us that are on this show right now, you're not going to get the results that you want. I get it. People are having a hard time right now. I have a hard time. I cannot not be around students. That's what I do. And it bothers me that I can't be around students as well. And maybe people think I'm crazy. A lot of people say, well, you love your job that much? Yes, I do. I love my job that much. I don't quit my job at 4:00. My job has never been over at 4:00 when students are not in my presence. And that's probably because I've had the same cell phone number for nearly 20 years that people can reach out and call me at any time of the night. So I would encourage all family members, friends, parents, whoever that has a student in school, that if something is wrong and you feel that you're not talking to the right person, trust me, you can call me. I don't have a problem with it. And I'll make sure you get to the right people that will make sure that your issues are heard and that your problems are solved. So you can tell them that I'm a Panera person all day long, Paul Kurgel. I don't care. I'll eat Panera 2 to 3 days out the week. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a soup girl. So you can tell them, I told on myself, okay?
Ooh, I just have a hard time. Marie Williams, panini. Just doesn't.
They got pizza now, though. Marie, they got pizza now. You see the pizza they got, the flatbread?
I see the flatbread pizza. Yes.
My wife
Yes.
said Panera bread a lot, so the soups.
Yeah.
I saw the pizza.
Chauncey's just trying to be
Pizza's
slick,
pretty
he really
good.
wants Scribs.
Well, it's a little healthy during the day. You eat squibs on the weekend, so Panera during the week. Oh, there you go, Brent, baby. There you go.
Ooh.
It is good.
They know me so well. They know me so well.
He got the-
Oh Lord.
He got these
There you go, Chauncey. There's your new Scrib sign.
Yeah, it's my new sign.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Boy, I tell you.
So we have a couple of next steps for the show. Brent's going to talk a little bit about food. Tom's going to talk a little more about social emotional learning. I'm going to say something, I'm not sure what yet, and then Chauncey's going to wrap us up and pull out some sort of final points.
Yeah.
You guys are welcome to stick around because you're fam, or if you have other obligations, you can go. But I mean, that's your call. Does that seem reasonable?
I actually do have an IEP I have to go jump into, guys. So thank you for inviting me. I love you all. And you know me, I miss you all. I hate the fact that we don't get together as much as we should, but I gotta go.
All right, y'all. Thank you, Marie. Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you all for having us here. We down the street, around the corner, bend the curve, and we're there. So hey, great show. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Irma.
Thank you. We're here. Let us know if you need us again.
Always. We always need you.
Bye. Bye. Bye, Angie.
Thank you. Ooh, you know, I'm just going to say this, and I know Tom has said it. It's just really nice to connect with folks in a room, even though it's a virtual room. People, you know, that you've bled with, sweat with, shed tears with over the years. I mean, it's just kind of uncanny. I mean, for all of us, because we don't have those opportunities as much as we used to.
No, I mean, you miss people. You don't realize you take some of those interactions for granted sometimes now that you can't have them. You know, I don't remember going, you know, multiple times a week without seeing Marie. I think it's the first time I saw her in a month, you know? And so, you know, you lose sight of that stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's nice to have some of our fam on. So, onwards and upwards. What you got anything for us today having to do with culinary greatness or gastronomical delights, Brent?
Yeah. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. I just got a few facts of Thanksgiving. I decided to cook up a few interesting things here. First of all, the first Thanksgiving ever was in 1621. Okay, between the Pilgrims and the Indians, and it lasted 3 days. And turkey was not on the menu. It's venison, duck, goose, oysters, lobsters, eels, all of our favorite things. No pumpkin pie and cranberry sauce. Can you believe that? Now, today, Americans eat about 280 million turkeys every Thanksgiving. You know, there's a wild flock of turkeys, if they're called a flock. I don't know. Somebody will get me on that. And that number seems to diminish the closer we get.
They're called a loaf of turkeys.
A loaf of turkey.
No.
They're called really good, covered in butter and herbs. That's what they are. But I digress, right? Abraham Lincoln was the president that made Thanksgiving a holiday. There's actually 4 cities in the United States named Turkey. That's exciting. People on the average consume about 45 to 5,000 calories in a Thanksgiving meal, which for some people is an entire day worth of food intake. And if you're anything like me, you watch football on Thanksgiving, and you know, you ride that roller coaster. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. And the first one was actually played in 1920.
actually the first NFL game was in 1920. The first actual Thanksgiving game was between Yale and Princeton in 1876, just a few short, 100 years ago or more. So, Thanksgiving's on the brink here. In the middle of a pandemic with Rona in these streets, and it's real out there right now. I was on a podcast last night with them live, and the one thing that I tried to convey is enjoying the moment and the people you're around in the now. And I think the coronavirus has given us a profound appreciation for the immediate future and not being able to look too far ahead, because you make plans and things change. They change constantly, and you can't plan more than a second ahead. And the second that you plan ahead for might change, due to a variety of reasons, all of which are out of your control. So I encourage people in this Thanksgiving to be appreciative for all the little things that sometimes you overlook. Be appreciative for your parents and your brothers and sisters and your immediate family that you're going to enjoy Thanksgiving with. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, but I would also encourage you to be mindful of who you gather with. And COVID's not about yourself, it's about your impact on other people. And as much as even me, I want to gather and I want to go. I haven't seen my parents in 3 months face to face, and I'm just being mindful of them. So I encourage other people to do that and fight this thing together while still enjoying all of the things that make you you. And you gotta find that balance. Okay, so be thankful for all of the things you have in life. One mantra that I kind of live by is things are never as good or as bad as they seem. And so life is always eventually at some point right down the middle of where you think it is. And so be appreciative of that, and be thankful for the people in this world that love you, and be thankful of the people in this world that you love, and enjoy Thanksgiving, and eat too much and fall asleep watching the Lions like I do every year. And have fun with it. Have fun with it. Enjoy the new normal. Have fun with it. Make it your own.
Great advice. Great advice. Tom, what do we have for today to focus on for socio-emotional learning? I always have a hard time saying that.
Me too. So, this morning was an interesting morning. It was, we start the day with some Zooms and interacting with students on there, and it feels like we've been doing it for so long, and it's so hard to look at, little outlines of people's faces and little screens and try to picture those as people. So it's so good to be able to come on to this and see people for real and interact with some people we know for real and hear stories and share. It's I don't know, this is much needed for me today. I appreciate it. So as I was going through emails and things, there's an email that Miss O'Brien sends out every once in a while that's just like this big blast of encouraging information. So I pulled something out of there today, and it goes kind of like this. It says, "I matter no matter what. I'm great just the way I am. I'm important to this world. I'm wanted. People need me. I can do difficult things. I have what it takes." So I blew those statements up, and I'm going to hang it on my wall right above my monitor here, so I see it each day. And just as a reminder to me that, that's where I am, and that there are plenty of people out there that I'm connected to that I don't get to see on a regular basis. And, I'm really, really missing seeing those kids in the building and being able to just stick your head in the door and take a quick scan of the room and see 15 to 20 people smiling back at you and excited to be there. So I needed to hear those words this morning. So I thought I would put them out there, and just so everybody watching and MCEC students and family know that you have what it takes. You can do difficult things. You can stick with this. I know seniors are getting stuff from Jostens right now, and it seems like graduation is so far away, but it's going to be here before we know it. We're going to come back from Thanksgiving break and have 3 weeks before we go on Christmas break, and things are just going to pick up steam time-wise. And, there's some students and families that I've been reaching out to that, you know the message you've heard from me, you know that you've heard that things aren't where they need to be right now, but that doesn't mean that they need to stay there. And you can do the difficult things. You can get back on track. You can balance the school stuff and the home stuff and the work stuff. You can do this. Stick with it. Don't give up. And whether we're a success or a failure doesn't depend on how many times we get knocked down. Depends on how many times we keep getting back up and trying again. So know that we're all here every single time you're ready to get back up. Even if it takes you a minute to get up, come back at it. We'll be here as along with everybody else you see on the show and everybody else you know is associated with us. They wouldn't be connected to us if they weren't out there ready to support you. So stick with it. You got this.
That's brilliant. So you guys are gonna make me start preaching in a minute, and this is not supposed to be a church show, is it, Chauncey? But we're doing church, aren't we? We're doing church. So I've got just two basic things that I'm going to share, and then Chauncey's going to take care of business for us. The one is each morning when I wake up, I tend to drive around the lake in the morning because there's something about the lake that reminds me of the balance of things. And every morning I try to think of who are 2 or 3 people I just need to drop a random text to. And then I open my heart to see what names sort of drop from the sky. And then I just text those people and I'm just honest because I don't want to think I'm weird or something, but I'll just say like, hey, Brent, it was on my heart to drop you a line. Hope all is well. It's all I do. And I think that for me helps me feel like I'm doing something, but not being invasive and weird, like driving around Brent's house and putting sticky notes on his door and stuff, because that'd be just kind of weird. But it also allows for, I think, the connection of the connection. And I think sometimes when we connect with people, the people we connect with people, and I think it has a domino effect. That's number one. Number two is we're not allowed to use profanity on the show because we're loosely associated with the good district of Muskegon Public Schools. But most of us spend a significant amount of time on social media. I know I do. I'm not going to even lie. And to counteract the stream of negativity, I think sometimes we have to look for things and opportunities to show the other side of the narrative. A narrative does not have one voice of final large or capital T truth. There are usually many small t truths that are part of that narrative. And I think that we need to do our part as people who care about people, as people who struggle to care about people, to put a narrative out there that isn't just mean and nasty. And so I always try, and sometimes to my friends and family's chagrin, I tend to sometimes say probably more than I ought to. But ultimately, I think we need to find ways to give those other truths appropriate airtime. So that's my 2 things for today. Chauncey, it's all you.
Okay. Getting back to the career stuff, we had this is National Career Development Month. So the National Career Development Association had their 55th annual poetry and art contest. I sent it to the teachers. Some of them responded back to me. And this week is actually the National Career Development Week. So the National Career Development Day was yesterday. So we're always focusing on careers here at MCEC. And there were a couple of, not Zooms, but like virtual kind of tours of Samsung and all the trades they had and the careers they have this week. So I've been sharing it with the students on our Google Classroom page. So here at MCEC, we're always on nutrition, social emotional learning, community, and career readiness. So I'm going to sign us off. I picked a different song today. That was good. And I was playing it throughout the thing, but it says, well, that's the end of our live hour. Thanks for tuning in to the MCEC Fam Show, the place where the center of your child's education is magnified in the collaborating community. And let me just play the song a little bit longer today, because the girls came on, when the angels came on, those ladies are truly the people that are really grinding. I knew Angela a long time. I mean, I knew her dad before he passed. I knew her mom, a monumental figure in our community. Her brother was at Michigan State before I came, guided me. And then Maria, I worked with her in different capacities through sports and other places. And then I know if Miss Lopez is associated with them, she can keep up with them. She definitely does this, you know? Grinding. That's what they do over there at the middle school. And they're preparing the kids for us. So we have to respect them. So that's the show.